Hi guys, this is Jazz here. Um, as you guys might have gathered from the title of this video, around 24 hours now, last night, September 16th, 2014, my dog Sam, of 13 years, has passed away. I'm still trying to recover from it. I didn't really think it hit me this hard. I mean, he was going. We all know he was going. But when I just heard the news, it just felt like emotionally I hit a brick wall and this thing just like stopped. I'm going to admit right now, this is pretty much just me talking about the event and just remembering him so I can have this for my future and anyone who would possibly want to hear. I mean, I highly doubt anyone wants to hear me talk about a dog they never fucking knew, but if you wanna just listen and just imagine this stuff with me and just, yeah. So I'm gonna start off with the actual event itself to get the sad stuff out of the way so I don't have to really talk about it again. We knew things were getting bad once he had like this big, ugly, I guess it was a tumor on his tail. It was quite ugly. It was an eyesore. Warning to the squeamish, you might want to skip ahead about what I'm going to talk about. I'll pop up a link or something so you don't have to listen to this, but there was a really big sore on his tail. It looked like pulsating flesh. It was quite disgusting. It busted open all the time, blood smeared on the walls because it kept busting open and you really couldn't do much about it. I think it was a tumor. I don't know if it was a tumor or not, but it was just a big, ugly, sore thing on his tail. And it was quite disgusting. And we got his tail cut off so he could be better. Well, things kind of went downhill from there because he used to be able to jump down the steps in order to go outside. He always followed us to be able to go outside. He always wanted to go outside. He couldn't do that anymore. We'd have to pick him up. His coat, which was normally when he was first born, like it was all brown. His paws were white. His ears were black, and like some of the fur in his face was black. And all that just slowly disintegrated to an old white. Like I said, we've had him for 13 years, so it was not a young dog. It's 7 years from dog years, isn't it? So he was like 77, like in his 80s or 90s in human years. So like that's like, I guess I could say I should be lucky that I've had him this long. I guess. But I've never really had to deal with loss before. It just really sucks because like I came home from work just now, and usually when I come home from work, he's right there. He would be right there to greet me. And I would typically be just too aggravated from work and just say, just ignore him I should have pet him more. I really should have pet him more and showed him care. But hopefully he knew that I cared. I keep thinking about him and it's just like, but keep going. I get into the stuff. So what happened was, I wasn't there, but from what I was told, he was gasping for breath, and I guess he had a heart attack. That's what we're guessing anyway. And he just fell over, and he, well, getting to the disgusting part again. Cover your ears for like 5 seconds if you don't want to hear this. His bowels were evacuated, and his, bladder. So yeah, it was pretty well established that he was not with us anymore. He wouldn't move. He was dead. And this is right around the time when my mom called me, and I just couldn't believe it, because I never really had loss before. I mean, yes, I've had people in my family die, but I really wasn't connected to any of them. And the people I live with, my grandmother, my grandfather, my mother, my sister, all those people, and my uncle I care for, they're still here with me. And I cared about that dog, Sam. But I won't be able to see him anymore. I won't be able... of course I'll be able to see pictures. I have a couple of pictures. I really wish I took more now to remember him. But, that's pretty much all to say about the death. He was picked up, put in a box, took into a crematorium, and, well, you can guess what happened from there. I saw his dead body. Just saw him lay limp, totally lifeless. Which was so weird, because I'm so used to seeing him full of life, moving around. Even in his later days, like he would always keep moving. His foot would drag, but he would still move. And, well, of course he can't move anymore. Sadly. So, I guess now that I've talked about his end, I guess it's only good to talk about his beginnings and how we got him and all the shit I remember about him, all that stuff. So, when we first got Sam, it was around 2000, 2001, something around there. When we went to get him, I was rather pissed off, because this was a little bit of time after a dog called Shadow died, which I don't remember how old he was, but my grandmother and mom and all those, my grandfather and all them, they knew the dog a lot more than I did. And he was quite a vicious dog. He bit me couple times. Totally scarred one part of my face. Even my mom could still point out the scar. So I wasn't really happy because I thought all dogs were just like these vicious things. And not only that, it was still around time where they were showing. It was around Saturday, so Friday or Saturday, so they were showing this like, I forget what it was called, but just like a block of Nicktoon shows. And I missed all those episodes, and I just was so pissed off. And I kept showing it, and eventually we get to the house and get the dog. And Sam came right for us. He instantly just came right to us. And we didn't think it was the dog that we picked originally, but we really didn't care. We just wanted a dog. So we just picked him up and took him home. Although there's an extra little bit to that story. Apparently my folks, my grandmother and grandfather, say that I was apparently ringing the doorbell so much that this lady was so pissed off at us. She just wanted us to take the dog and leave because I was giving her that much of a headache. Apparently I just kept ringing the doorbell. I don't remember it like that, but whatever. And when we first took him home, he was quite lively. He was so friendly, of course, because all puppies are friendly and just lively because they are so young, and you know they learn around just learn what's around them. And I started to like the dog, and when we first got home we put him into a little like box because, you know, we didn't really want to have him shit and piss inside the house, which was ultimately futile because he never learned to that you really shouldn't piss or shit inside the house, which pissed off my grandfather many times. But yeah. And I remember like this little things like he had this little fire hydrant squeak toy, and he just looked so. He was just the stupidest dog. Like, people sworn that the dog was inbred. I'm pretty sure that wasn't the case. Even if it was, I don't think it really matters much now, but I don't think he was inbred, because I'm pretty sure inbred creatures from any family or whatever species, whatever you want to call them, I'm pretty sure they die very young. Regardless, he was like so dumb. He didn't learn any tricks. He really didn't do much, but it was still a matter of fact he was part of our family. And I remember things like, and at one time we had to give him a flea collar because he had such a bad case of fleas. It was like the blue and stripes on top and bottom, and the white around the collar. And I remember how he just always wanted to go outside. And then we moved here. And of course we took the dog with us because we weren't just going to leave him. So taking him over to the new home with us, the home I currently live in, of course. But when we moved here, he would just be free to wander around the house. And I remember during special occasions like Christmas when people would come over. I'll probably never forget this. Everyone was upstairs because they were showing. My grandmother wanted to show off the house because she loves to clean and like make it all spiffy and just show it off. So we were all upstairs. They were showing off my room, and I was looking downstairs, and I saw that Sam was right at the steps. And we were all joking, saying, you know, he ain't gonna come up here. Because he tried to like go up the steps. Like he put his paws on the steps, but really wouldn't go up. And then eventually, sure as shit, he came up. He dashed up those steps, and then he was with us upstairs. Of course, though, we did have to take him downstairs because, you know, he'd go upstairs, can't go downstairs. I didn't mention what kind of breed he was yet or anything. He was an Lhasa, I think that's how you say it, an Lhasa Apso. And he was a really tiny dog. I'm just thinking about, like, he's not here anymore. Like, I'm never gonna hear him bark or... It's really crazy because I didn't think I'd really miss him this much. Like, I knew he was leaving, and I was very like, well, he's making his way out. Like, just like it was a common day thing. And I'm like, I'm not crying or anything. I mean, I'm pretty sure I'm not going to cry, but just crazy, you know? I mean, he was in my life for 13 years, and now I'll always remember him, though. His stupidity. Remember his silly little... Just him being stupid. He was a very loving dog, at least. He would always... I remember he liked to jump on the couches too, to be with us, but and just like lay next to us. And whenever you eat, he would be right there. And of course, he would want food, and he would sit up, like on his back, and like, of course he couldn't do this and like when he was like slowly passing, but he'd sit upright, and his paws would just hang, and he would just like wave them forward, and like have them and fall back down, because he wanted food, and that pissed us all off because it was our food and we wanted to eat it, and we're very selfish eaters here around this family. But every now and then he did get some food. Of course, I mean, of course he got fed. He was 13. Of course he got some damn food. But and then there was a time where we put in carpet in the house. We didn't want him to shit or piss on the carpet, so we locked. We put up gates to keep him locked in. And he really never came out. Which is a shame, because the rest of his life he had to stay in that kitchen. He really wasn't free to roam or anything like that. Kinda depressing. I also don't like how in his later days, whenever I tried to go upstairs, he would just be laying at the door, and I would have to really push it open to basically physically move him, because I didn't really think about him, or also it could be how it could hurt him or anything like that, or how he might feel about me just pushing, shoving him. And even now, just sitting here thinking of him, I'm not really a spiritual person. I don't believe in heaven, I don't believe in hell. I really don't know what to believe in, really. I hardly believe there's a God. But, if by chance there is a God or something out there, there's some kind of deity or something, if there's spirits, I hope Sam is able to live now peacefully, and he's happy. Being able to just do what he wants. Being able to free roam in any fields he wants, going outside. Yeah, and for anyone who's been listening to all of this, for whatever reason, at any time, whether you're watching this in 2014 or 2114, I'll be dead by then, but I just want to say thank you for listening. I really don't expect anyone to listen to this, but again, thank you. Well, that's all I have to say.